today I'm going to be making lemon Parmesan shortbread. Parmesan in a cookie, you might say? That's weird, Andrea. Well, it's a bit weird, I suppose, but once you try a savory shortbread, you will never go back. Trust me on this. If you're a cheese lover, this is your biscuit. They are amazing. When I sold these at the market, people would specifically come back just for my savory shortbread. Sorry, I'm distracted by cats. I'm just gonna dive right in and get started. It's a super simple recipe. One of my absolute favorite things is this Cuisinart food processor. I'm gonna say I use the Cuisinart equivalent to how much I use the KitchenAid. It's just so versatile. I use it for dips, I use it for sauces, I use it for soups, I use it for cookies. If you have one of these, use it. If you don't, just go ahead and use your KitchenAid, or you can just use a mixer. Whatever you got, use it. You know, you can even just use your arm. But shortbread I find a tad difficult unless you have the help of a mixer of some sort. So have at her, but it might be difficult. The first ingredients we're going to put in here is 1.5 cups of Parmigiano Reggiano. You can also use Grana Padano if you don't have Parmesan. I would just recommend freshly grated. You can either buy it at the store freshly grated or just grate it yourself. Next, I'm going to add 1/2 cup of flour plus 3 tablespoons. 1 teaspoon of freshly grated lemon zest. In here, I've got 1/2 teaspoon of finely ground pepper, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and a pinch of cayenne pepper. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pulse this until it all kind of comes together. Okay, so that is done. I also wanted to mention as well, if you're grating fresh Parmigiano Reggiano, do not throw away the rind. Throw it in a Ziploc baggie in the freezer. You can add this to soup and it adds so much flavor. It's awesome. So don't throw them away. This is valuable. I'm going to put that in the freezer. I have pulsed my dry ingredients. I'm going to add 1/4 cup of butter. Pulse this butter with the dry ingredients to make it sort of like a course meal. I meant to mention earlier that I put my metal blade in the Cuisinart. That'll aid in making it the consistency that I want it to be. Okay, that's starting to look good. It's actually even starting to kind of like come together on its own. So the next step is adding the water and the fresh lemon juice. So I have got my 1 tablespoon of water here that I'm just going to put right in there. And I have got 2 teaspoons of freshly squeezed lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice just never fails to make me happy. Love it. So now what we're going to do is we are just going to pulse this once again until it actually sort of forms itself into a ball. You can see what it's doing. It just made itself into a ball. It's like miraculous. Love it. So easy. Now I'm just going to take my ball and I'm just going to start rolling it into a bit of a rough cylinder. Now it's a bit warm in my kitchen, so this dough is definitely a bit soft. Give it a little roll like that. You can either make this a round roll by rolling it back and forth like this, or you can do it the way I like to do it, which is I like to make the little square crackers. I'm just trying to get it into the shape it needs to be in a general sense, and then I'll hone it at the very end. You can make these whatever size you want. I really love little bite-sized crackers, so I'm probably going to make them about 1.5 to 2 inches. Now I'm just smoothing it and rolling it. And you're just going to do this until you have approximately the shape and size cookie that you are going to want. And you can also just tap the ends a little bit if your ends are starting to get a little bit pointy. And it gets a little bit bulged in the center sometimes, so you can just kind of go back and forth and smooth it as much as you want. You can't go wrong here. So I make these every Christmas. I just make them for Christmas Eve usually, when we have a little get together with a charcuterie plate. These are wonderful on a charcuterie plate. You can very easily double this batch as well. I used to make batches 10 times this size when I was making these. Doubling it, no problem. All right, I think that looks about the way I want it to. You can see the added bonus of forming your log this way is that when you're ready to put it in the fridge to chill, you can just roll it right up and it's ready to go. So now what I have to do is I have to chill this for 2 hours. Then I'll be ready to slice and bake it. So I'm ready to slice this Parmesan lemon shortbread and place it on my prepared cookie sheet. So I just have lined it with parchment paper so it is ready to go. So now I'm going to slice them. I like them a little bit on the thin and crispy side, so I'm going to say probably somewhere in the ballpark to an 1/8 to 1/4 inch thick. And since it's been chilling for 2 hours, it's nice and solid. And you want to use your sharpest knife, and you can see the thickness there. Yes? What? I'm a very talkative cat. Here is what your shortbread should look like. So when you are making your logs, that's a big part of why we're doing that process of compacting it and really like sort of banging it down and smoothing and squeezing. It is to compact it so that your cookies look like this. I'm gonna finish cutting these guys and place them on my cookie sheets. And these are meant to be thin and a little bit crispy. So you really, you could slice them a little bit thicker, but I think they'd be a little bit too intense. They are considered to be like Parmesan crisps. So they are rich. So now I'm gonna place them on the cookie sheet. So I'm putting them very close together. I'll show you in a moment here just how close, like that. So you really can get a lot on the cookie sheet in one go. I like things that are efficient, and shortbread is very efficient. I'm gonna put these into a 375-degree oven for 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, my lemon Parmesan crisps have come out of the oven and they are smelling delicious. Just look at how golden and thin, and they're so crispy. I've already tried one because I couldn't resist, but let's try another. I just want to show you just how thin and crispy these are. They're buttery, they're delicate, just salty enough. The Parmesan flavor really comes through. The pepper really comes through nicely. Pepper and lemon, I think, is such a nice combination. These savory shortbread are just divine. If you want to do something different this Christmas, something to add to your charcuterie board for Christmas Eve, try a savory shortbread. If you want to try the recipe, I'm going to post it on the website. And if you like what I'm doing here, why not just subscribe to my YouTube channel? Cheers, everyone. Have a great day and happy baking.